Thank you for checking out my talk today called All In on Apache Arrow, where I will discuss the Streamlit transition from a homebrewed data serialization to using Apache Arrow for passing data between Python and JavaScript. My name is Randy Zwitch, and I'm the head of developer relations at Streamlit, which was recently acquired by Snowflake. The developer relations function at Streamlit promotes the usage of Streamlit and other open source Python software via code examples, documentation, answering forum questions, social media, and talks like these. So if you've read an answer online or interacted with someone from Streamlit on social media, there's a good chance that they're on my broader team. If you're not familiar with Streamlit, we are an open source Python package for creating interactive data apps. Upon its release in October 2019, Streamlit was very ML focused, bringing together the most common tools from the scientific Python stack, like pandas, matplotlib, scipy, and more. Since then, we've grown into a more rounded data science, machine learning, and even a beginner programming tool for getting started on the web. What used to take days or weeks of complicated HTML and JavaScript programming can now be done in hours or even minutes with a few Streamlit commands added to an already existing Python script. While Streamlit makes it easy to build web apps using Python, behind the scenes, the Streamlit library is doing the heavy lifting to generate the appropriate React JavaScript code for the front end. This is accomplished by creating protobufs that are passed from Python to JavaScript, which provide the values that React uses to evaluate whether a widget needs to be created or just refreshed. In earlier versions of Streamlit, these protobufs were created using Streamlit-specific data serialization logic. But as the diagram on the left shows, there was both a lot of code complexity and serializing and deserializing data between the server and the browser. The more involved this custom serialization logic became, the more it started to resemble the Philip Greenspun quote above. Streamlit was effectively writing its own, slower, less complete version of Apache Arrow. But unlike Apache Arrow, the custom Streamlit logic was pretty slow as the data sizes increased. New features and data types were added to pandas, which we didn't support. And in general, our version became unmanageable in the face of all these permutations of data. So Streamlit set out to see how much of the code we could swap with Apache Arrow and how much performance would improve if we did so. For almost a year now, since version 85 of Streamlit, we've used Apache Arrow as the default serialization method. From an architecture perspective, complexity has decreased considerably, as arrow tables are used both on the front and back ends, which removes complex protobuf building. Besides simplifying the Streamlit architecture, we noticed three main benefits to moving to Apache Arrow. First, it's hard to argue with the performance benefits that we saw. As data frame size increased, we were seeing an order of magnitude improvement in serialization time. The chart on the left shows that up to even 1,000 by 1,000, 1,000 rows and 1,000 columns, the legacy data serialization format that we were using, did pretty well. But as we moved to 5,000 by 5,000, you can see the exponential ramping of time to create those protocol buffers. And so in this case, Apache Arrow made a huge difference in the range of data sizes that you might see in data science. Second, we removed over 1,000 lines of code from the Streamlit code base, logic that no one has to maintain, debug, extend, or anything else into the future. And finally, we have better compatibility with the broader PyData ecosystem. Having packages that are all using Apache Arrow at their source The packages should work the same whether they're in Streamlit, Jupyter, Hex, or any other data science environment. If you'd like to learn more about the Streamlit transition to Apache Arrow, please visit the blog post where our engineers wrote about the process. If you'd like to see what the changes actually entailed, I've linked to the commit on GitHub so that you can see the breadth and simplification that the transition to Apache Arrow provided. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about Streamlit in general, we've got 3 main sites to check out. Our documentation, our community forum, and our blog highlight not only the history of Streamlit changes, but often the most recent information about what's possible with the Streamlit framework. And with that, I want to thank you for watching this brief talk today, and thanks to Voltron Data for inviting me to record a talk about Streamlit. I look forward to seeing what you build with Streamlit, and look forward to seeing you out in the community. Thank you.